such a beautiful day, we decided to have it outdoors rather than indoors because we want to get some sunshine. And our good U.S. Senator brought the sunshine to the city of Brockton. Now, before I introduce my fellow state committee member who's going to introduce the senator, I have to recognize a few of our elected officials. Representative Jerry Cassidy is here. Let's give him a round of applause. City Councilor Dean Bradley Darrencourt behind me. City Councilor Jack Lally.
I'm going to leave you with what my daughter said this morning. She was unable to be here. And she said, I said, can you come? She can't. She's sick right now, so she couldn't come. But she said she's smart, she's cool, and she's tough. All right. Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Thank you. Hello, Brockton. All right. So I wish we were inside, all comfortably seated, but you know, we're a tough lot. It takes a lot more to slow us down than just locking us out of the building, right? So everyone wanted to be cautious. The most important thing is we keep everybody safe. But you know, this gives a whole new meaning to grassroots democracy. We stand in the grass and do democracy. That's what we're going to do. I really am so pleased to see all of you here today. And I know it's tough. You're standing up. You're in the sunshine here. So I thought what I'd do is I'll just talk just as quickly as I can, just a few minutes, and then we'll take a few questions, and then we'll do the most fun part. We'll line up and do selfies. Everybody okay with that? Yeah, that's the fun part, right? So I want to talk to you just a little bit about what's going on in Washington, but what's going on right here in Massachusetts and right here in Brockton. You know, it's tough in Washington, and the attacks on democracy are just one after another after another. We now have, as the official policy of the Republican Party, try to win by keeping American citizens from voting. The American citizens that they think might vote Democratic. Just do what you can on voter suppression, gerrymandering, voter suppression, and the whole business of Russia interfering with our elections. We have a president who just says, la, 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 I don't want to hear that, right? So the whole notion of how democracy works, it works from the people. It is of the people. This is our fight. And so in 2018, what this is going to be about making sure that everybody turns out to vote, that everyone's voice is respected, that everyone's vote is counted. That's why we're here. You bet. And there's so much.
175. And then after that, I got Pat Foley and the lady on the wheelchair over there. We got 4 people lined up.
All right.
Just come on the mic. I call your numbers.
Move it. Come on up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Susan Glover. I'm from Hanover.
Hi, Susan.
Hi. I think we're all here for the same reason. What I'd like to know is what is the one thing that everybody in this crowd can do after you talk to us? Take some action. What can every single person do?
So I love this, Susan. This is a great question. I want to tell you all something. This is my 25th town hall, which will be the most remarkable because we're going to have to call it a front yard hall from now on. But the one question I have been asked, the only question I have been asked at every single town hall is, what else can I do? What can I do to make my voice heard in Washington? So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do. All right, the first one, if you haven't already done it, is join a group. And if you've joined 1 group, join 2. And if you've joined 2, consider joining 3. And there is a very specific reason for this. It's like the point around net neutrality. When you're with a group, the group tells you what's coming up next and lets you know sort of what the state of play is. So it's a way for us to get engaged and to make a difference in an organized way. The second thing that you can do is talk to someone who doesn't agree with you. I'm serious. We cannot spend all our time talking to each other. We have got to talk to people who don't agree with us. We got to be willing to reach out. And I know That means you got to have a conversation with your cranky uncle, right? It means you've got to talk with your brother-in-law. It may mean you need to talk with a coworker or somebody in front of you in line at the grocery store. But this is powerfully important. One of the things that I think is very much in trouble right now in the United States is that people have pulled to their camps. And what we've got to do is we've got to come back together. And let me just give you a hint on this one. Pick a thing that you want to talk about, but make it personal and make it about your values. You really care about student loan debt? Make that the thing you talk about. You really care about expanding Social Security and why it is so important to protect it, to expand it for those who rely most on it. Talk about that. You really care about the rising cost of health care and the fact that right now the Republicans in Washington are doing everything they can to take away federal support for keeping the cost of health insurance low. Then talk about that. Make yourself knowledgeable about one thing and then do it. And the third thing, make a commitment. A commitment to do something every day. And it can be whatever you decide it is. You can make it public, you can make it not public. That you're going to talk to one new person every day. You're going to send one email every day. You're going to make one post every day, one text every day. And I'll tell you why. It's because when you make a commitment, you chip at it a little every single day. That's when you start to make a difference. And you make a difference not only out there in the world, you make a difference in your own heart. And that's the way we're going to return this America. That's the way we're going to make this America. Once again, not just work for a thinner and thinner slice at the top, but make this America work for all of us. So thank you. It's a great question.
Thank you. I'm proud to say that I volunteered to be a delegate at the Mass State Convention to represent Hanover.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Thank you.
That's rude. That's rude. Just move it out. Get out. Go. Yeah, that's so rude.
Where's your 300? Where's your 300?
Hi, Shiva. I'm Mark from the Brockton Enterprise. Would you like to give a comment about the campaign or what's going on here?
Yeah, so
why'd you want to come here to the
we're
town
giving
hall?
a flyer here saying Elizabeth Warren is a tool of the establishment. She has supported Wall Street. Harvard is a $40 billion hedge fund, and Elizabeth Warren's a hypocrite. She gets a $450K salary from there,
Public
and that's what we're about. Elizabeth Warren's a
Free
hypocrite.
speech.
She's part of the establishment. Yeah, she supports
Yeah, they're opposing Shiva. Yeah, they're opposing Shiva. They should be in Worcester.
1995.
Anything more you'd like to say to the Brockton Enterprise?
I think the most important thing people need to understand is Elizabeth Warren is a hypocrite, and Elizabeth Warren, first of all, voted for the Monsanto Protection Act. She voted against Bernie's GMO labeling bill, and most recently on the spending bill, she actually supported the Monsanto propaganda bill. So this woman is a complete fake. Well, what I just told you. She acts as though she's for the people. She acts as though she's against big evil corporations. Harvard is one of the biggest evil corporations on the planet. A $40 billion hedge fund that serves, right?
Anything else you want to say?
I think those are the most important things. The other big thing is Elizabeth Warren supported Dodd-Frank. As you know, Dodd-Frank destroyed 1,200 community banks.
Information. Don't be afraid of some truth. Don't be afraid of some truth. I